Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Cher, and I am so excited because I've got Emma from the Urban Botanist right over here. Hey girl.
What's up, girlfriend? Woo, woo,
So
woo.
we are both in Ontario. I'm in Hamilton and Emma is in Ottawa, but we are connected
That's
virtually
right.
through this
I
fun.
feel like I'm sitting right beside you and we're getting crafty together. I wish that we were, but you know what? This is the next best thing.
You know what? I am totally fine as long as we are staying safe, we are healthy, but we are still having fun. In my Instagram, I basically said, ditch Netflix for the next 30 minutes. So if you are tuning in, just remember this is live, anything can happen. We are hoping that the tech gods out there give us some strength and stay tuned and plugged in. But the way that this works is we're going to do basically a fun workshop where you guys can interact. You can ask questions. So if you are tuning in on YouTube, make sure that you type in any questions because we will answer them as we go. So yeah, if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm the tech girl today and Emma's going to be our master at creating this wreath. So yeah, we're gonna be doing things together. Just have fun with it. There's no rules. Yeah, so Emma, let's just talk about what we're gonna be doing today.
That is right, guys. I love it. Ditch Netflix for 30 minutes. I feel like Netflix is all that we've been doing for the last 8 months, 9 months.
Right?
And the holiday season always gets me so in the mood for trying new crafts, for getting creative with evergreens, which is what we're going to be doing during this session. And luckily for you guys, it's only 30 minutes. This is a simple, easy, breezy way to design a super modern, super chic, and minimalistic holiday wreath. So that's what you guys can expect during this session. Going to be bing, bang, boom. We're going to tell you what materials you need, how to actually go about wiring those materials to your frame, and how you can also repurpose and reuse this frame for future events and seasons.
And I love my husband for tuning in and making the first comment. And we are going to be doing a giveaway for the holidays. So make sure to comment. That is basically one entry. So far, my husband has 2 entries. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I know.
he's already a winner in our hearts.
Yes,
Bless,
we love
bless
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, we could
So
not do this without Michael. So, you know
he
what?
sets up all the things. We love you.
I know. We all need a rock in our lives. And for you, a plant.
A rock, a plant, you know what? Same, but
Same,
different.
same. All right,
So,
well,
Cher, let's talk about we need. If you're tuning in at home, we've provided a shopping list, but let's go over
yes.
that shopping list.
Yes. So, we are going to be going through, I've got everything laid out here, and Emma's going to walk us through what she really recommends to keep this as simple as possible.
That's right. So, your main thing that you are going to need at home, and I've actually seen these at the dollar store. You can get them at Michael's, you can order them online. But the first thing that you're going to need is a 12 to 14-inch metal ring. So, that's going to be the backbone of our wreath that we're going to be designing this evening. So, make sure that you have a metal wreath. We are working with a gold one today. I just love gold, it's my favorite festive color. So that's going to be material number 1 that you need. Everyone also needs a pair of scissors. That is super
Ooh.
important. So if you don't have a pair of scissors yet, make sure you get a pair of scissors nearby.
I'm
That
matching
will come in
today.
handy big time. I as soon as I just said gold is my favorite. You bust out a pair of gold scissors. I need those in my life. I'm jealous of those.
I will get this
On
for you
top
for
of that,
holidays.
oh my gosh, those are literally amazing. They look like the best shears for cutting wrapping paper. But our scissors are going to be used for not only cutting, also trimming our greens, because not all greens are going to be exactly growing the way that we want them to be. But let's talk a little bit about our greens. So we've got a little bit here of long needle white pine. I love using white pine as a base for the wreath. That works really well. Some hemlock, some cedar, I'm going to be using a little bit of dried eucalyptus. Of course, fresh greens work best. They're a little bit more malleable. They're a little bit more easier to work with and bend as opposed to really dried out greens, which do still look lovely, but they can, be a little bit more difficult to work with. So you want to make sure you have your greens, your ring, your scissors, and you're going to. So that's what we're going to be using to, of course, actually attach the greens to our wreath. So the type of wire that you're going to want to use is floral wire. Works really, really great. Cher's gone ahead and pre-cut her wire, which is a really good method that I recommend, is pre-cutting some pieces of wire to have aside. That way, when your hands are kind of full and you're holding one branch here and you're holding another branch there, you've already got those pre-cut pieces of wire off to the side for you to grab and tie as you need. So you're going to want to have your wire. I'm even using twist ties. That works really well too. So you can use twist ties, you can use string, even works really well. But I love using something that's thin and got good grip on it. So the jute rope here that Cheryl is showing, I love using jute twine, kind of more as a decorative add. So as we mentioned, all of these decorative pieces are just suggested items for the workshop itself. None of this is absolutely mandatory. It's just stuff that we recommend you use. I really love adding this jute twine as a finishing touch. So that's good to have, a couple feet of that off to the side. And then your fun festive bits. So I'm truly just using stuff that I've used in the past. I have some pine cones, and we're going to show you guys how to actually wire those pine cones to your frame. Those will be one of the final steps for the workshop. But everything beyond pine cones will be, just little touches of gold, maybe silver. Maybe you've got some cute little faux birds or leaves or anything really, ribbon. I'm repurposing and reusing old, decor that I've had in the past that I've either used to fill my Christmas tree or for my garland. Absolutely everything is good to go. All things go for these types of frames. So we're working with a little bit of everything here today.
So Emma, you know what? I love the fact that we are repurposing things. And by the way, you look awesome.
Stop it. The pixels are finally working for us.
Exactly. So you look amazing. That's the most important thing. But this modern wreath is going to look even more amazing. So how do we start off? Because we've got all the ingredients here laid out. Where do we start off?
All right, so as long as you guys at home have already pre-cut some of your wire, that's kind of where I like to start. So I'm going to pre-cut myself about, 5 to 10 pieces of wire and just set that off to the side. So I've already gone ahead and done that, but you kind of want to have them to be about, a foot long. You can go through and trim off any excess pieces of wire, so don't worry about how long they are. You'd rather them be too long than too short. So make sure you have a nice little pile of pre-cut wire off to the side, which I do. So what you're going to want to do first when it comes to actually designing your frame, and we talked about this earlier, what did you call it, Cher, when you pre-lay down your items? It's a dry run?
Oh, I call it a dry fit. So basically, yeah, it's kind of like in interior design, you do that with wallpaper because you want to make sure that you cut everything to size before you stick it down. So similar but different. So I'm going to just follow along with you as you talk us through.
Similar.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm just moving my glass of wine out the way.
Should I just put this right here?
Disaster. First of all, get your glass of wine, put it in the middle, and get it ready to enjoy.
Yes.
We're going to do a dry fit up, a dry run of our design first. So I really love using anything that's really big and full as my base. So for me, it's going to be this nice, gorgeous pine. And I'm just going to lay this down. I'm not worrying about the wire yet. I'm just trying to visually decide how I want this whole jam to come together. I'm using some pine. I have a little bit of mint juniper, which is just totally gorgeous.
That's cute.
And I kind of, isn't this pretty?
It's
I like
really
the way
pretty.
It grows.
It looks fuzzy.
It's got such a nice smell too. Oh my gosh.
And I
It's
think
just
that's
lovely.
the best part
So
about this too, because you basically, the aroma of this just lasts throughout the whole season.
totally. Oh my gosh, that already looks so gorgeous. And the thing about these really simple, minimalistic wreaths is you could put truly, one branch. I've got some eucalyptus here, which I'm going to use last. I really like to use some of the more dainty greenery last. So I will start layering now. So I've layered first my pine. I'm now layering my kind of more fine juniper, and you're kind of doing that there with your cedar.
And where do you
On
cut?
top of that,
Is there like a rule of
so
thumb for where to cut?
you know what? I like to wire first and
Okay,
then cut. And the
got it.
reason for that is if you cut off too much, it's a lot harder to deal with. Once it's cut, it's done. So
Okay.
it's always easier to cut more than you need to. So why don't you kind of have it looking, at least your base layer that you want, which is going to be my pine. We're going to first wire our pine to the wreath. So let's go ahead and grab our pre-cut pieces of wire. We're going to start at the base. And of course, branches don't technically grow in circular shapes like this. So we're
True.
going to want to bend it just a little, encourage some bend. I like to start at the base, and you kind of want to make a twist tie motion at the top. So I'm really tying it nice and tight, and I'm twisting in sort of a clockwise motion, those two pieces nice and tightly around the branch so that it's nice and secured and anchored to my gold wreath.
I'm
That's
following
step one.
along, and I hope I don't mess this up.
I'm not even kidding you. There's no way to mess this up. If you just go kind of step by step the way that we're doing it now, there's no right or wrong way to truly wire and anchor your greenery to the wreath. It's just about making sure that's not going to budge around, and it's about making contact with your greenery to your wreath. So all I've done is that step one, boom, I've got my base, which is super important, nice and anchored to the wreath. So you can see kind of moving around a bit, but once we anchor a few more pieces, a few more sections onto the wreath, it's going to start looking really good. So now that we've got that base done, let's try to do the middle of the branch with another piece of twine off to the side. Now you can see how this greenery is super, super lush, and there's, lots of little fine needles. I'm trying to avoid those long foliage, that long foliage and those long needles when I'm twist tying. So I'm kind of going beneath it and trying to just wire the main branch to the actual rim itself, because you want to try and avoid wiring down too much of those needles, because of course that's the beautiful foliage. That foliage is going to cover the wiring. So you want to try to just wire the main branch to your wreath.
So
and
you're
that
getting
takes
to
a little
that
bit
base
of time.
right there.
That's right. That's right. You want that main branch to follow the ring in a circular way, and you can just make your ties. I'm again just pulling up in one motion, and then I'm twisting just like that, just like you would twist tie anything else. And you can do that with any type of wire. It works super well. And any sort of excess wire that I have that I'm not using, I'm just going to trim away. And you can pull out any needles that you've kind of, captured as you've wired. You can pull those needles out and just kind of work to cover up any of the wiring if you're noticing it. But you'll be able to cover up the wire as you add more layers. Essentially, all of your layers are going to work up any wires that are showing.
So far, so good.
Well done.
The only thing for me is I'm doing it upside down, but I feel like I'm always up for the challenge. And it's already looking so festive.
I love
Here
it. I love it.
go.
And I should have mentioned that for us, we have decided to just do an asymmetrical style ring. So Cher and I have decided we're just going to do one side of it because I really love just how, the one side of the wreath looks. It ends up just looking really minimalistic, really chic. And honestly, a little goes a long way. So if you're picking up your greenery at your local Walmart or your grocery store, you really don't need that much.
And I
So
actually
that's
just picked
looking
these
quite
up
good.
too at the grocery store. So it really, I believe you could get 3 bunches of cedar for $21. So it's super affordable, and I think I might even just do this for my front door.
100%. And you can buy these rings in packs of 3 or 4 or 6, and you can make them for your friends, your family. You can host a fun little virtual or in-person little wreath making session with your friends and family too. So that's kind of awesome with these rings, is they're low cost. You usually get them in packs, and this foliage goes a long way. A little goes a long way. As you can see, I'm only using one branch of the pine, and I kind of like the way it's falling. I'm going to do one more wire of the top bit. So that means I've done 3 contact points total of this first branch, kind of the top, middle, and bottom. And then I'm going to move on to the next piece of foliage.
And for
Looks
me,
so
I
good so
had
far.
to do 1, 2, 3, 4 points just because this branch is quite thick. So I really wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that is a thick.
It is a thick little bugger, and that's okay
a thick
because
boy.
it is a big boy. I can always just trim this off later, but as Emma said, let's just wait until the end, hold off, and we'll wait till we're done. All right, so you mentioned.
And for this piece, for example, if you have a really large piece of greenery and you only want to use, maybe half of this, there's no shame in just giving it a snip. That's also okay. There might be a long branch that's kind of grooving in a wonky way that you don't like. Nature's not perfect. Branches grow in wonky ways. That's fine too. Don't be afraid to cut those pieces away to kind of form the sort of shape and style that you want your branch to look. So that is totally okay.
And would you recommend
finish off
the same length, or cutting it a little bit shorter just to maybe have the base pine needles peek through? What's your preference?
That's a great question. I like to have them staggered. So I like to have a little bit of a staggered size and length for the greenery that I add. So this new piece that I'm going to be adding next is going to be layered on top. So if you were worried about your wire peeking through, don't worry about it now, because we're adding our next layer of greenery. Mine's going to be the juniper moss. I just really like the way that foliage kind of comes together, similar to yours. Or not juniper moss, mint juniper. Moss is always on the mind for me.
I was going to say, so if you missed it,
moss?
Emma and I did an awesome terrarium DIY a couple months ago, and I'm going to link that below in the replay as well, because if you're into moss, this was such a mind-blowing experience, and it was so nice because we actually got to do it together in the same room at the time. So yes, moss is always on the mind.
Awesome.
Always on the mind. So
we geeked out on moss a bit.
Oh, we totally geeked out. And spirit animals too. So we're using the same wire, right?
That's right. So the next round, you can either attach your secondary piece of greenery to your base greenery. Sometimes that's easier than going through the two and making connection directly to the wire. So you can take your, directly to the wreath. So you can take your wire and either make contact with your pine or your base greenery and connect it that way. And this one shouldn't require as many contact points. You might be able to get away with 2 as opposed to 3. And really, you're just working to secure and bend the shape of this greenery to your wreath so that, you're getting that nice layering look, and you'll really start to see it come together.
Smells
Oh, I love it
so
already.
good. And you
My
know what I
fingers
love
are all
about this?
sticky.
Me too, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is not, yeah. You're gonna need some wet wipes after this. But it's super fun. And I like that
It smells
also
amazing.
there's no, it just looks so effortless and it doesn't look
Mm-hmm.
too, like, you know, when you go to HomeSense sometimes and you find these wreaths that look like so manufactured. And I love for
They're
HomeSense, just so
overdone.
you know. But
They're
it's,
totally overdone.
yeah, this is sort of this new school way of thinking of how to do greenery. And I love that you can just do it at home and it's so affordable.
So affordable, so easy. You really just need, and I mean truly, look at this even with just two pieces of greenery on it. It's
Stunning.
gorgeous.
I love
Absolutely gorgeous.
it.
It's going to automatically add that really lush, festive sort of vibe that you're wanting to maybe add to your front door. This would even look more in a bathroom. Like truly, how
Ooh.
stunning is that?
Over a bed would be nice
So we've
too.
over a bed, and a nursery is totally beautiful too.
Oh, yes. I have a few friends who just had babies, so this is something that I could totally drop off for the holidays.
100%. And you know what's fun too, and a really cute gift idea is dropping off the disassembled version
Oh,
and,
yeah.
popping a link to this video in their inbox or in a text message saying, here's a little virtual workshop for you. I picked up the materials. Boom, done.
That is so, so great. And also, for those of you who don't know, Emma has some amazing kits on her website as well. And you can definitely get some great ideas for the holidays if you're still looking for gifts. I know I am.
Actually, so we're doing a virtual Christmas gift exchange on the weekend. So I went ahead and sent out or dropped off these materials. Like I mentioned, these rings usually come in packs of 4 or 5. Mine happened to come in a pack of 6. I dropped off the materials. I dropped off the excess greenery that I had, and it's like, boom, let's join each other on Zoom, and we can just make this together. There's no right or wrong way to make it. It all ends up looking beautiful.
Exactly.
So what I'm going to add next is a little bit of dried eucalyptus. I just love eucalyptus. It doesn't matter what season you're in. I just find it looks gorgeous, smells amazing, looks amazing. So that's going to be one of my fine little delicate touches that I add to the top. I really just love the kind of difference in color that it adds too. So I'm going to add just a little touch of eucalyptus. That branch is a bit big. Something small. So again, like we talked about, I like going from large to small. So my larger pieces of foliage are laid down first. My medium piece of foliage was that mint juniper. And now I'm going to add just a little touch of eucalyptus to the top as well. And just
Ooh.
already it's come together so beautifully.
And you know what's nice? That even what we're doing right now would be perfect for an outdoor wedding. Just even in the spring would be super cute. Not necessarily with the evergreens, although hey, if you have in your backyard, it's pretty timeless, but it just adds so much freshness to a space. And if
Totally.
anyone wants to sort of brighten their day, especially during the winter season, because we are in Canada, this is the perfect way to do it.
Absolutely. And you know what? With this little piece of eucalyptus that I've just added, I didn't even really need to put too much wire in. I was able to just kind of nestle it in to a piece of existing wire, which is totally okay to do. If you're able to kind of grab one of your branches and kind of nudge it into an existing wire contact piece on your frame, that works really well. And then I'm going to add just another little piece up here, just so it keeps its shape. And really, I'm just adding that extra wire so that the eucalyptus has a little bit more of a bend like that.
So cute. Now, would you do sort
So,
of a
so cute.
similar thing? I'm just going to a wide shot of what I have so far. So I don't have any eucalyptus here, but I really find that it's like taking shape. I actually don't even really mind this little stem. I might just cut it right here. But what would you suggest?
Yep,
Am I
absolutely.
allowed to go ahead and start doing any pine cones? Is that okay?
100%. And just looking at that cedar branch that you have on the side, if you wanted to cut the little pieces off instead of using an entire branch. If you wanted to sort of cut the offshoots off, you can do that too. If you wanted to add a little bit more greenery, that's okay. But if you guys are ready to kind of get started on adding your sort of statement pieces, you can do that with your pine cones. These are, you can literally just collect some pine cones from your backyard. How you go ahead and add these to your frame is either, with a hot glue gun. But if you don't have one of those, then you simply, I will show you, and Cher will follow along. You're going to use a piece of wire. So you want to have, again, one of those pieces of wire, and you just basically wrap it around the base of the pine cone, kind of wanting to make contact with the base. You can very delicately weave that wire in and around the base, and then you are essentially just making a little twist tie for it so that you can then take that little pine cone and effortlessly twist tie it. Super easy, right? You can then twist tie a branch or directly to the gold ring, wherever is the best contact point for you to add that little piece of that little added touch, that little extra pine cone, which is so cute. Yeah, I like adding them to the base.
Me too. It just adds so much texture.
As you're like, and you're kind of, now seeing it all come together, and you can decide, what, I actually quite like that branch poking off. It adds a little bit more, shape to the ring, and you can either elect to keep that or you can chop it off. That's fine. I have some old ribbon from one of my last Christmases that I'm going to either cut up or, just use as it is. You can add a nice little ribbon just to the base like that. And I mean, how cute is that?
So cute. Oh, I love that ribbon.
It's actually a nice little touch, it's not too much.
It's not too much.
And I also have, some cute little gold pieces. I've got a nice gold leaf that was an ornament that I just thought might look quite nice too.
Oh, that's so funny. I have
great
that.
About these kind of wreaths. No way.
I have that at home. Yes. That's so funny.
I just love gold, and it's just delicate and beautiful. And I think that what's great about, DIYing your own wreath, and this type of wreath specifically, is you can, and you're not committed to anything. If you decide, I don't really love that there, maybe I'll put it up a little bit higher, then take it off. Try something else, add a little piece here, add a little touch there. And it slowly starts to come together, and it really just reflects your own personal style.
And as you can tell, I'm totally into gold. I've got my gold watch. Gold is everything right now.
Your gold scissors. Oh my gosh, yours looks so nice.
Let's just see those funny scissors again. And so Emma sent me this great kit. And, when you see the box, you're kind of thinking, how is this all going to come together? But look, it's so simple. And I'm just going to tuck my little gold decorative branch in here and tie it around the base. And it's funny because before I thought about cutting the base off, and I think I'm fine with it now.
Yeah, I kind of like mine too. But look at how this has come together. It's so cute.
That is so cute. I think I'm gonna add one more pine cone. And you also sent me some jute rope. So I think I'm gonna tie a bow just to finish it off.
Yeah, and you know what I kind of like using jute rope too as well is either tying it to the top if you need to make, a loop to hang it from something. You can use the jute rope.
Oh, right.
Or what I've also done is if you kind of have a really chunky base, a really chunky piece of your branch showing like this, for example, and you want to kind of cover it, that's showing on your wreath, is you can take your jute twine and wrap it around the base. If you don't have, a big bow to cover up that base with, and you really want the bow covered, you can wrap your jute twine around the base, and that kind of adds a nice little finishing touch.
Oh, I love that. Love that. And you know
That's
what?
Cute,
I always have jute rope lying around for some reason, and sometimes I just don't know what to do with it. So this is...
It's just, it works well in so many crafts, that's why.
Yes, and any of the leftovers, guys, you can use for your wrapping this year. Keeping it fresh, you can use some craft paper and just add a little bit of these elements, the cedar, the pine. It's gonna look so sweet. And now
And
I
you
think
know
I'm
what?
gonna
It's a
just try a
nice
bow.
alternative to buying plastic bows. You can make your own
Yes.
with jute twine. You can glue some pine cones to it. You can just repurpose these pieces, and it adds a really nice, organic, natural element to your gifts that make them just look a little bit different than,
Yes.
the regular green sparkly bows and silver sparkly bows. It's kind of different. Surely your gifts will stand out, and it's a nice little touch.
And we have a comment from Donna, and she's just asking if we mentioned the size of the gold ring. So yes, Emma mentioned it at the beginning, which was 12 inches.
Yes. Well, the sizes that we're working with, Donna, are 12 to 14 inches. However, small little hoops work really well also. It just requires, of course, a lot less materials and a little, you're working smaller space. So you can really use any size of hoop, and it'll just your size of your hoop will just determine how many materials or how much of your materials you will really need. And we used such minimal materials here because we only are doing half of this gold wreath. So again, it's super easy for anyone to do at home, super cost effective in that you only really need 1, 2, 3 branches to make something that looks really nice and really, really chic.
I'm really excited about this because I was literally thinking about this morning about what kind of wreath I was going to do for my front door, and boom, it's done.
Exactly. And it took us no time at all. And I'm going to be honest with you, this year was my first year making a full-blown wreath. I was like, oh, I've got all this stuff. I'm going to make myself, I got really ambitious um, for making a full-blown wreath. I bought the cage wiring that you can attach, basically a larger version with more sections of this. I'm sure you're familiar with them. I had all my greenery. I was like, this is going to be super easy. It was not. It took me forever. Oh my gosh. I was like twist tying. My freaking fingers were like so painful after like an hour of me twist tying pieces. Oh, there's a big gap here, having to shove a piece in there. And don't get me wrong, it turned out beautiful. It was really lovely way to just have some me time and slow down, craft, engage with some nature. But it was a lot more difficult for maybe people who don't have as much patience or as much time. You can still accomplish a really nice, beautiful, flawless wreath without doing a full-blown circular full wreath. You can just do a nice, chic, minimal one
And
like
you know what?
this.
I actually did, I think it was last year, I did a video. It was a modern boho chic wreath, same thing. And it was actually really affordable. It was $25. I went to the dollar store, I grabbed a bunch of stuff, but it literally took me like an hour. And this took us just minutes. Do you want to do a full reveal of yours too, Emma?
Ooh, absolutely. I really like the little bit of color that I added. My other one doesn't have really much color. It's all green, but that little pop of red from, an upcycled bow from previous Christmases. Like, just how beautiful is that? Yours looks so good. I love I like that yours is upside down actually, and that
With this?
well, to me it's
Oh,
upside
right.
down. Yeah, like
Okay,
I
so
love how that's at the top.
oh, see, honestly, you could do it so many different ways. You could keep it really balanced,
100%.
but
No, that's
maybe
gorgeous.
maybe I'll do it
I
like
love
this.
that. No, I love that. That's gorgeous because the branch actually acts as like an accent almost. It
Exactly.
works as like almost a little piece of decor.
You don't need very much. And again, if you have any wires that are sticking out, just make sure they're nicely secured at the back. You can trim that off. I would finally say that I think I'm good. So again, this is such a design tip of like measure and, make sure you have everything in place, dry fit, then cut, and then you're pretty safe.
And
How
if you find
cute.
your wires are showing, you just trim and tuck, add a little piece of foliage, add a little pine cone, add little elements that'll just help to cover the wires and really add for like a flawless finish.
Love the
And,
flawless.
we talked about love the flawless, everything flawless for us, right?
We're very Beyonce right now.
Yeah, exactly. At least we're not sweating and it's a little bit cooler right now for this workshop.
Yes, if you
But we
guys
were
watch,
flawless when we were sweating too.
yeah, we were doing our last DIY tutorial in this same room in the heat of the summer. It was so hot. So if we have the JLo glow and feeling a little Beyonce flawless, you'll see it. So
Always,
now I
always.
also have a few tips because obviously this is amazing for the holiday season. This will last for how long? Probably, I don't know, at least a few months, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, at least for a couple weeks, and
Yes,
certainly if you have it outside, the cool temperature helps to keep these evergreens nice and fresh looking. They
exactly.
will start to dry out, and that's fine. It still does look beautiful. And the best part about these gold rings is once your greenery has kind of dried up and it's not looking so hot, that's fine. Compost it, save your items next year, but save your ring, and you can really add so much greenery and fun little pieces to create a frame that will look good for any season.
Exactly. And I actually just pulled a few of my fake flowers. I know some people are into fake flowers, some people are not. I like using it for reasons where exactly you want to save on budget and also have something last for a long, long time. So what I usually do is I take my stems and I just layer it so it's kind of offsetting your flowers. They're not totally on top of each other. We're kind of pulling it back. And then that way you don't have to use as many flowers. I've tried it before where you have to take each flower, wire it, and put it along the wreath, and it takes a lot more time. When you have the stem, kind of like what we did with the evergreens, it saves you so much time and you can just layer them, offset it again. And even with these 3 stems, same thing, I've covered most of the wreath. And you can just bend it again, add more greenery, maybe it's palm leaves. I actually have some faux palm leaves. I don't know what this is called. Maybe you know, Emma. But same
That was like
thing.
a type of fern, perhaps. But
It's a
yeah,
fern.
absolutely. And it's all a fern, it's a palm or it's a fern. And when they already have the wired stem, it makes it that much easier to add. Like, look how gorgeous that looks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
So
want to
easy.
cover all of our work, but essentially you're doing, whoops, I'm getting twisted and I'm getting, okay, here we go. But it's similar but different. And again, these are something that you can see in the spring, in the summer. You can do this for baby showers, weddings, you name it, or just for fun, right? Because we like to do things for fun.
Absolutely. And if you're really not sure what to go out and buy, you're like, oh, I'm not creative. Oh, I don't have an eye for things. Greenery makes everything look good, truly. If you go out to the dollar store, you go to Michael's, you go to your local flower shop and you pick up greens, you can pick them out blindfolded, bring them home, wire them onto a wreath like this, and I promise you it's going to look gorgeous because nature just provides and nature is beautiful and greenery is just gorgeous. So really it is super simple. You don't need to have a florist background. You don't need to be an interior decorator. Truly, anyone is able to go and do something like this.
And one of my little tips is funny because I just did another sort of like holiday special. When you're picking your greenery, I love, and if it's faux, I just like picking greenery that is as close as possible to something you would see in nature. And that way it doesn't look super fake. So I know you're trying to make fake look
Totally.
real,
And
but one little tip.
100%. 100%. I'm more about the real, as you know, but you know what? Everyone has their own jam, and that's fine. But I've actually, the last time I was at Michael's, I saw their faux plant section for greens, and I had to do a double take because I was like, I'm sorry, are these real?
It's
Are these real
it's
plants they had?
It's come a long way, don't you think? I feel like there's so much to choose from now, and anyone, anyone who's doing their decor, whether, if you have to go fake just because you have allergies or something like that, it's totally fine, but you don't have to sacrifice style if you have to go that route. But also, Emma is amazing. She has a wealth of knowledge. Make sure to check out her Instagram because there's always like a daily like little tip to educate everyone about plants, about moss, about life
A lot of it
lessons.
maybe goes over people's head. They're like, oh my gosh, another random plant tip,
So
but that's
I
just
love
my
it.
jam. And yeah, absolutely. I love inspiring people and getting them excited about plants and nature. So that's kind of my jam. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, if anyone has any questions about what we did today, feel free to head over to our Instagrams or you can leave a comment in the chat. We also will have a replay so you can watch it again and share it to friends if you do want to drop off a little gift box for them. And yeah, we're pretty much always here. Emma and I hope we can do more DIY tutorials and workshops in 2021
Absolutely.
because there's so much fun. I always learn a ton and I always feel like plants and greenery go hand in hand with decor and design, which is my specialty. So yeah, make sure you guys keep the comments going, and whoever was able to tune in today, we are going to be doing a giveaway, so we will announce that on our Instagrams. And yeah, any last words, Emma?
Absolutely. What you said, we are definitely going to be planning some future DIY projects, and any DIY project that includes greenery is the best kind of DIY projects. So keep an eye out for that. We hope that you enjoyed this quick little tutorial, and we will see you in 2021 at an upcoming amazing virtual workshop.
Amazing. And one last comment from my husband, Michael. We love you. He said we have a great collaboration thing going. So, hey, we will take all the
I love
love.
Michael.
I know. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We had a blast. I can't wait to hang up this beautiful creation. And yeah, look out for more fun tutorials.
Yes, and if you made one at home, we want to see how it turned out. So make sure to post and tag and show us what you made.
Yes. Hashtag modern holiday wreath. And we will see you in the next one. Emma, high five. Virtual high five.
Virtual high five.
All right, we will see you in the next
continue.
one. Happy holidays, everybody. See you next time.